Okay, we finished basically what's needed for Rosh Hashanah. Let's get into Aseret Yemei Tshuva and Erev Yom Kippur and then into Yom Kippur. So Aseret Yemei Tshuva, generally in halacha, it says that a Jew is supposed to be more religious Aseret Yemei Tshuva than they are during the year, because it's Aseret Yemei Tshuva. According to Arizal, if there's 10 days of Tshuva, so then you have 2 days is Rosh Hashanah, 1 day is Yom Kippur. So you're left with 7 days. That means there's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not necessarily in that order, right? So like here you have Rosh Hashanah is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so you have Shabbos right away, Shabbos Shuvah. Then you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you have Yom Kippur. So the Arizal writes that the Sunday of Aseret Yemei Tshuva, you should do Tshuva for all the previous Sundays of the year. Monday, I say you have all Tshuva for the Mondays of the previous year. Just like we had Chayelo, we said 12 days. You know, the first day is for Tishrei, Cheshvan. Now Arizal says you have to do Tshuva for us. It says, generally speaking, a person should try to be more religious. Now, we say in davening, there's a few things we add, Aseret Yemei Tshuva. What? How do you do Tshuva? For you, it's going to be a long thing. You have to make an appointment. Like 30 hours of therapy, I will tell you. So we add, besides Okel HaKodesh, Melech HaKodesh, all that stuff. But before Baruch Hu, we add Shir Amalis Mima Amakim, you know, that parak of Tilim. Also, we add Avinu Malkeinu. After Tachnun, instead of the little Avinu Malkeinu, that we say before Vanachnu Neda, so then we say instead the long Avinu Malkeinu. That's as far as davening's Mishachris and Mincha, unless if it's a day where you don't say Tachnun, then according to our custom, there's no Tachnun, there's no Avinu Malkeinu. Generally speaking, during Aseret Yemei Tshuva, people should add Torah, Tefillah, and Tzedakah, obviously. Also, there's a din in Shulchan Aruch that you have to ask your friend forgiveness, because Yom Kippur only forgives avedas between man and Hashem. Sins between man to man, Hashem doesn't forgive you unless if you get forgiveness first from the person that you hurt or whatever you did to him. So you have to ask mechila, you know, and mean it, and so on and so forth. Okay, Avinu Malkeinu we said, Shabbos Shuvah we said. Okay. Now, just generally speaking, Kiddush Levana, we don't do until after Yom Kippur. There's an Indian halacha that says you don't do, even though you might be able to do it earlier, but you don't do Kiddush Levana until Mitzvah Yom Kippur. Now, in Aseret Yemei Tshuva, there's a minig, especially at Yom Kippur, to do what's called Kapparos. Or you guys call it Kapparot. The Kapparos means we take a chicken, the proper Kabbalistic way of doing it, you take a chicken, and you put it over your head, say the whole tefillah, and then you shecht it. And Shulchan Aruch it says that you take the inside, because years ago they didn't have mass production. You know, the sheikh had shechted the chicken, you brought it home, the wife kashered it, and prepared the chicken. So it says in halacha you're supposed to take the insides, the b'nei ma'ayin, the guts of the chicken, and put it on the roof for the birds to eat it. Why? This is what it says in halacha, because we want to show Hashem we're merciful to people, to animals. Hashem should be merciful to us also. Ideally, the money, people should, in many places they would give the actual kapparos to poor people, right? But it says unless you give it to institutions, but to give it to a poor person, might feel embarrassed. So it's better you do the kappara over a chicken, and then you take the money, and the money that it costs you give tzedakah to poor people. What? Now, there's different parts of kapparos. You have the actual kapparos, you say the prayer with around the head, so on and so forth. And then you have the shechita. Okay? Now, according to Kabbalah, the main part of kapparos is the shechita. So let's say you did kapparos, and the sheikh had messed up in the shechita. Became nevela. So then it says you have to redo kapparos. What happens though, if the shechita was good, but then something was wrong inside the animal, it became a treifa, so then you don't have to redo kapparos. The main thing of kapparos is actually the shechita. And then when you also do another mitzvah, because if you shecht birds or beasts, not animals, birds or beasts, you have to cover the blood. Kisi hadam. So then, when the sheikh shechts it, you do the mitzvah of covering the blood, so then you're able to do another mitzvah with another bracha, an Erev Yom Kippur, to try to get as many mitzvahs as possible. So the ideal time to do it is early Erev Yom Kippur in the morning. If not, you're allowed to do it at Seismei Tshuva. Different times when a person could do it. Now, for the woman, they don't say Zeh Chalifasi, because that's masculine. They say Zos Chalifasi, Zos Timurasi, Zos Kaparasi. So for a male, you take a male chicken, which is a rooster, and for a woman, you take a chicken. Now, ideally, you shouldn't use the same kapara for different people. It's one per chicken. But many times in the Shtatlach, they didn't have, they didn't have chickens. So then, they would do one chicken for all the rooster for all the male, the chicken for all the female. In fact, they tell the same story that in the shtetl, they put up the chicken on a long stick, tie the chick at the end of the stick, and they would get up on a high platform, and everybody crowded around, and they went around the chicken with the stick on it. I don't know if that was torture to the animal, but that's what I heard. That's the way they used to do it in the shtetl, in a way get everybody covered by kaparas. A lot of people do it with money or fish. So, but again, there is an inyan kabbalistically to do it dafka with a chicken. What? Helicopter the whole city. Okay. What? What's that? Shh. What?
Throw out the chicken after kaparas. Is it better to use money or?
If they're going to throw out the chicken after kaparas, then you have a big shaila of baltashkes. Is it baltashkes? Is it not baltashkes? Are you wasting it? So what they would do many times, they just give it to goyim even. Give it to goyim to eat it. Now the question is a separate halacha question. Is it called baltashkes? Because the pearl I did kaparas with it. But now you're wasting the chicken. So it's not so simple halachically. It could be a big shaila of baltashkes, of wasting something that's good. So at least they should give it to goyim. Goyim would take it. And the other sides of LA, different neighborhoods in LA, they would take it. And you shouldn't throw it out. So, okay, now what does a pregnant woman do? So a pregnant woman, let's say she's having one baby. So now the the fetus, still needs kapara. If it's after 40 days old, it needs a kapara. So now, what?
After 40 days.
Yeah, some people are 40 days, some people are 3 months, but up to 3 months you can be making. Well, some people say 40 days. So then, if you hold that each person needs a separate one, so if a woman is having a fetus, a baby, and we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so then she has to take a female for her, female, maybe the baby's a girl, and then a rooster because maybe it's a boy. Okay? So then the question Allah asks, what happens if they're having twins? So then you would need 5. If they're having triplets, you would need 7. But the poskim write twins is not uncommon, but now there's a different question. Today, people know the gender of the baby. Today, pregnant women, yes, allowed, not allowed, you're allowed to, but yeah, done, not done, whatever. But you're allowed to do it, halachically. But the question is, so then let's say she knows she's having a boy, so why does she have to take 2 females, one for her, maybe it's a girl, she knows it's a boy. So then technically she could take 1 male and 1 female. If she knows she's having a girl, then she takes 2 female, you don't need to take 3. That's what the general consensus amongst contemporary poskim, that if you know what you're having, so then you know it's a boy, so on and so forth. Okay, then you cover the blood, and you throw them in the you're supposed to give kaput. What?
So when you have the 3 chickens for the woman, you offer them at the same time, or you do it at the time?
What they do is, either have a few people doing it, or they put the 3 chickens in a box, and then but then you have to change the Zeh Chalifasenu. I mean, you just have to grammatically make it correct. Because then Chalifaseinu is plural. So Chalifasi is singular. Huh? Yeah.
More than one.
Yeah. But then it's interesting. If there's male and female more than one, then grammatically you go Lashon Zachar. In Hebrew, in Lashon Kodesh, right? If there's plural men and women, then what do? If it's all plural women, you use the feminine gender. If it's plural men, use the masculine gender, right? These like with a mem at the end or a nun at the end, right? All the various different. But what happens according to Torah language? If there's men and women, plural, so then it goes by male gender. So you could say Zeh Chalifaseinu, Zeh Tmuraseinu, Zeh Kapparoseinu, Zeh Tarnegoylim. You just have to. Right. Whatever.
Wait, you can't say that it's the star, which one is the blue?
Huh?
What if you put a little tag on the foot? Then they can say that's referring to one.
Yeah, but which one is good boy or girl? So if there's okay, whatever. Anyway, okay. Now another thing.
Pregnancy to say this option?
Huh?
Pregnancy to say this option? Or by
What?
a pregnant woman says Lashon Hara?
What should she say?
The Uber is
So why do you need a kapara? Okay. So sometimes the Gemara says Uber Yarech Imei, that the the fetus is the thigh of the mother, right? So then it's not a separate entity. But in many dinim, we find a kapara is taka, that the baby inside still needs a kapara, even though it's not even born yet, it didn't sin. But there's gilgulim involved, there's a lot of different things involved. So even a fetus needs a kapara. It's interesting, the Rebbe, when he was speaking, he said, I'm not saying what the minhag Chabad is, but when the Rebbe was speaking about pregnant women, not to be, that the minhag, that many people have a minhag, that a pregnant woman is not unterführer at the wedding. The accompaniment. And the Rebbe said, why? Because he's supposed to be one person, and from Kapparos you see there's two people. Whatever, so... Okay, now another interesting thing, Erev Yom Kippur, you don't say Tachnun, but the Mincha before Erev Yom Kippur, you do say Tachnun. Now Shachris Erev Yom Kippur, you don't say Mizmor L'Soda. Because again, like we learned by Pesach, Mizmor L'Soda is instead of the Korban Toda, the Thanksgiving Korban that used to bring. The Korban Toda had to be eaten, that we say every morning, L'Yom V'Layla Ad Chatzeis, from morning and that following night. A korban that you didn't have the proper amount of time to eat it, you couldn't bring it. A korban Torah had to have a day and the night following it to be able to eat it. Because the night is Yom Kippur, you can't eat it. So you don't have an allotted time to bring the korban. So you couldn't bring a korban Torah Erev Yom Kippur. Just like we don't say Mizmor L'Soda Shabbos and Yom Tov. Why? Because you're not allowed to bring a personal private korban on Shabbos and Yom Tov. So you couldn't bring a korban Torah. A Jew couldn't bring a korban toda on Shabbos or Yom Tov. So therefore we don't say Mizmor L'Seder. They were not allowed to bring it Erev Yom Kippur because you don't have the night of Yom Kippur to be able to eat it. They didn't bring a korban toda on Pesach because part of the korban toda was 12 breads, lachmi toda, that were chametz, and you can't eat chametz on Pesach, so they didn't bring a korban toda on Pesach either. So all those times of the year, we don't say Mizmor L'Seder. Okay, so that's in Shachris you don't say Mizmor L'Seder, you don't say Tachnun. During davening, therefore, we don't say Avinu Malkeinu either. We continue.